So this is the meet raw cow kind of stage of the videos. So this is just me I'll have a chat with you for a short time about what I've gone through and techniques I've used, some good, some bad, in dealing with depression, breakups, separations, all those kind of things. I haven't got any kids, guys, out there, so anyone that's going to be like, you won't understand because you haven't got kids, you're 100% correct. I'm not in that position, I wouldn't know. So all I'm going to use is the information I get from people who have gone through these things to kind of hopefully put that out there. But from my perspective at the moment, so a bit of story about me. I was married fairly young to a woman who I had known for years. We went through, what was a great time. Really cared for her. Really cared for her family. We didn't have any kids, unfortunately, like I've stated. But the relationship started turning pretty sour towards the end of it, and 100% it's not going to be on either of us specifically. We both had issues in the relationship that didn't help us grow. I'm very happy for her, how she's grown since we separated and got the divorce. She's had a couple kids, she's married, really happy for her. My way of dealing with it was not exactly the best. I essentially chose to leave town. I came from a small rural town, and just the rumours, the stories, the stuff that kind of flew around made it really difficult for myself to kind of deal with it healthily. I chose to drink a lot. I chose to go out partying. I was very free-spirited, let's say, with who I kind of hooked up with, etc. I didn't really care too much. All things that really aren't the best way of dealing with a breakup, guys. You've got to try and look at focal points that will help you grow rather than hinder you. So my technique essentially, unfortunately, was to drink the pain away. Didn't work. It really didn't work. I met a few girls. I actually met a lovely young girl who I ended up dating probably a little bit too soon after a divorce, I'll say that much. She was great, younger than I, much more free-spirited, so she kind of gave me that moment. It was a total contrast from my ex-wife. My ex-wife was very, I wouldn't say controlling, but she was very planned out. She knew what she wanted, how she wanted it. She was very business-driven. She, ran her own business, and for that I was so proud of her. But the thing was, there was just a divide with us, I'm fairly nerdy, I'll say that. I like my video games and stuff like that. She's more sports focused. So we just didn't have that kind of connection. I think that was long-term connection. I think it was like puppy love that kind of we rushed. But like I said, I'm so happy for her now, what she's ended up getting. But yeah, it was hard for me for quite some time. Blamed her a lot for the separation and the divorce. Like I said, dealt with it very, very toxically and horribly. Unfortunately, I allowed some of the stories and rumours I heard, some which may have been true, I'm not 100% sure, but I don't want to really get into them now. Some stories kind of got to me and made me worse and worse, and kind of dwell on it. And yeah, I'd finally made the choice. I've got to get out of town. We had very much the same friends, the same similar social groups. Like I couldn't have gone out drinking and partying with mates without kind of running the chance of running into her friends or hearing stories about her, and vice versa. She couldn't have the same thing, so it would have caused a lot of issues. I chose to leave. This young girl kind of came with me to the rural city. I moved to a slightly bigger rural city, and essentially started anew, which unfortunately opened up a whole new level of issues. When you think, I'm just going to pack my stuff up and leave, you're kind of like, yeah, that's great. I'll pack up and, I'm going to make mates in this new town, and this new job's going to be great. The problem is it's not like that. When you're a kid, you can kind of walk up to another kid at the playground and go, hey, you want to play? You want to be mates? Do you want to, come over my house and play video games? When you're an adult, that's really fucking weird. Not doing it to kids, but, going up to other adults and go, hey, how you going? You want to come over? So I really struggled with making friends outside of my work group, but unfortunately a lot of my work friends were, married with kids. It was a bit of a struggle when I first moved here. I still, 3 years after moving here, have only got a number of, I wouldn't say best mates, but I've got a number of people that I can go over their house, have a beer, have a chat, experience a few things with, like video games and social activities. Nowhere near what I did have in my old town. And you know, you miss it. You miss the camaraderie. You miss the ability to call up your mate and say, "Hey, come over for a video game." Especially when your friends in this town, like I said, have kids, have wives, have a wife or a partner. Makes it a bit more difficult when you're, you know, the flying solo kind of guy. But you know, it's gotten much better in the last 3 years. Like I've kind of put myself out there a bit more. I run a sporting social group that involves, now this is going to change a lot of guys' opinions, LARPing. So I used LARP actually as a way of kind of dealing with some of the trauma and PTSD, I suppose, or the issues I had from a failed relationship. It allowed me to be a bit more free-spirited, a bit more imaginative, embrace my nerdy side rather than try and hide it. So yeah, they're just a few techniques I used to try and help me. So I'm 32 now. I'm, you know, still a bit of a troublemaker. Still like my drink, not as much as I used to. Don't really smoke, nothing like that. So I'm a bit social, but yeah, I've changed a lot. I think from going through my divorce and separation, I've kind of calmed down a bit in my social activities and the kind of stuff I get up to when I'm out of town or, you know, on the town. So yeah, that's like I said, just a little bit more about me. There'll be a few more of these videos just addressing certain features or, you know, going in a bit more depth, but I just wanted to just have a rough idea. From the 3 years I have been in here in the city I've moved to, I won't say the name of it, I've had 2 short relationships, I suppose, that kind of went to shit in the teething end at the moment of some. But yeah, so you've kind of got to make those choices. And yet again, I think I kind of jumped into those relationships really quickly, which was a dumb move to a degree. But hey, look, we all live and learn, guys. So just take care of yourself, and I'll speak to you again soon.